Hello, welcome my day 31 of my math vlogs. Now today was a very, very scary day. For not just because it's almost Halloween, Friday is coming and I'm in charge of the event, but it's because of that day after tomorrow, there's a new Halloween, even scarier than Halloween itself, the unit test, and a day that I knew would come. And the fateful day is day after tomorrow. Tomorrow being my last hope. My last refuge of source of hope for the day after tomorrow. And today we had to do something that everyone was bad at, and it was proving. Now, my previous quiz, I wasn't necessarily bad. I got 6 out of 10, which is still passing. My problem is that I understand how it goes. It's just that I don't understand how to produce it myself. Because, well, first of all, I understood everything. That's a given. When I see things, I understand where it came from and what it means. But then the problem is that it's producing it myself. Like, when they say, oh, yeah, this postulate, I was like, oh, yeah, that postulate. Pff, I knew you long time ago. But then when I'm doing it myself, I'm like, who you? I'm asking myself, well, I'm talking like my friends. I'm saying, like, who are you? Where did you come from? Why do you exist? It's like meeting someone. It's like meeting a person. You don't realize that they exist until you actually see that they're relevant. And usually, this should never be the case. In life, even, you should know someone exists despite or whether or not they are relevant. And because of that, I realized that I have to know that they're relevant. I have to know that they're there so that I can say, oh, yeah, you're here. Come with me. Come into this column proof. It's something that I have to get familiar with. It's getting familiar with how it works, the flow. I have to get used to the flow because then sometimes it's so linear that eventually it'll just come naturally, and nothing will be very hassle, and everything will be very straightforward. Like, oh yeah, it's like doing paperwork, something that's so easily done, and it's just tedious. But I've never felt this before, and that's because, well, for one thing, I'm lacking practice. I'm lacking the one thing that needs to be done over and over. And really, that's how you master a lot of skills in the future. It's practice. Because then you can do something over and over, and yet not paying attention is just, it's just the same thing. But then if you really paid attention to close detail and you realize where you've gone wrong, or you understand the flow and you feel the flow of how it's moving, then that way you can understand how everything else will go, and it'll feel like yeah, I got it right, like how it usually is. Usually, I'm only good with numbers, but not with logic. Logic is like one of my downfalls only because usually with logic, you have to explain something that may be common sense, but you're explaining it to someone as if they don't know what you're saying. So then, I suppose the only way for me to improve is by, number one, not losing hope, obviously, and number two, studying. Because then I never actually dedicated 8 hours, or no, that's an exaggeration. I've never dedicated 2 hours of consistent studying with math that's outside a tutor, because usually when I go home it's already straightforward. I really need to dedicate much of my time, even if it was 2 hours, to math, because that's the only way I feel that I can only pass. Hopefully it will work out. Thank you for watching.